by Israel and United States of America on Iran and Iran's retaliatory response, the entire region is plunged into an unprecedented crisis. It has disrupted not only Asia, but the entire world. Economies of the nations, markets are collapsing, national currencies are depreciating, including the Indian rupee. I do not recall in my living memory such a grave energy crisis, because this is the region from where more than 25%, the Strait of Hormuz, the oil and gas of the world flows, the energy flows. It's not only that, this is important for maritime trade. We're talking of disruption of also value chains, disruption of supplies of chemicals, fertilizers. We are staring at a very grave situation. India is an import-dependent country. We are an energy-starved country. I don't like saying this, but this is a reality. We are 88% import-dependent. Almost 65% of our LPG is imported. Over 80% of our crude petroleum is imported, if not more, maybe more. And the PNG. Now, can India be silently watching? How India has to address this challenge? That's the question. It's very easy for other countries which are distant, which are not dependent on energy imports from this region, to take pole positions. But what about us? We have civilizational links with Persia, with Iran, historical. Since millennia, thousands of years, the rich exchange between the two civilizations, the civilization of India and the civilization of Persia, also of Arabia. Now, if we have our interests and historical linkages with Persia, Iran, so do we have with Arabia, with Gulf. We have 10 million Indians living there. More than 60% of the foreign exchange remittances of India, we are the highest recipient country in the world, comes from Gulf region, from this region. Now, how do we balance it? It's not an easy task for any government, having been in South Bloc in Foreign Office, having also dealt with the economy of the country, knowing a little bit about trade and negotiations. We have to find the fine balance. Luckily, India has enjoyed a historic goodwill, both of Arabia and Persia. So we are in a better position to negotiate how to protect India's interests. India's diplomats, our ambassadors, our missions, they are working hard. I feel that we have to encourage them and support their efforts. They have handled it skillfully. We cannot trap this narrative in any partisan politics. That would be a national disservice. What should India be doing and its political leaders? What message should we be sending to the capitals of these countries where Indian ambassadors and Indian diplomats are working day and night to secure India's interests? People forget about this. So far, we have, say, a situation where our Indian diaspora is secure. Safe, absolutely. We are perhaps the only country where the maximum number of ships either have sailed through or have been diverted towards India. Even the energy-laden or petroleum-laden ships or tankers which were going towards China or Russian ships have been diverted to India. So it's not only that what is coming through the Strait of Hormuz, but you have to look at the larger region, the neighborhood. And also important it is that in such a crisis, India should have an internal national consensus and resolve. There are times when we have our positions. We are a multi-party democracy. I also have my ideological convictions. But there are times when you think as an Indian that what your people, your diplomats, your officials want to hear from the political leadership. And yes, the government has had a all-party meeting. It should be upgraded. This dialogue must be sustained in India's national interest. We must demonstrate national unity. Equally important, as you asked me, I've said so. What are the expectations, not only of our people, but of the world? Can the world be a mute spectator? Can a country like India, which has a rightful aspirations of global leadership, to be there along with the other partner countries, whether it's Germany, Japan, or Brazil and South Africa, in the expanded UN Security Council, can we remain quiet? Historically, India has commanded not only goodwill, but respect because of its moral authority. India has been the voice of non-violence and humanity. India must stand up, mobilize the countries of the South, work for the restoration of peace. The question was put to me about whether transactional, well, there are world leaders who are purely transactional. Can principles, can commitment to humankind be discarded? Can we be purely transactional? Yes. First and foremost is foreign policy means pursuing your own national interest, upholding the national interest, which India has always done. Whether we were the leader of the non-aligned movement, it was not that we were non-aligned was neutrality. No, we took positions. But we are in a situation, what position do we take? If India has to play a role in at least encouraging negotiations, there are other strategic partner countries besides the global South. Whether it's Europe or individual major countries of Europe who are strategic partners. Countries like Brazil, I have said, we are part of IPSA, we are part of BRICS, Russia, China. India must recognize its own strength. So far, we have not got trapped into a situation from where it's difficult to come out. And that's where I use this word that these are potential minefields. One mistake can cost us dearly. Therefore, it may be unfashionable. We have to be calm, correct, focused on how to confront this volatile, unpredictable, uncertain situation. It's not going to go away. Even when the war stops, the oil fields, the gas fields have been destroyed. It will take months and months for them to be repaired, restored, for the production to be resumed, and the prices to stabilize. This is not. I'm amused sometimes when people say that, oh, it should happen. You are not sitting in a coffee bar, an instant coffee that you order, press of the button, the coffee cup will appear. No. We have to remember that.
So, talking about this, you urge the global south in de-escalation of this crisis, practically speaking. How can India mobilize these nations, many facing their own internal economic pressures as well, which you mentioned, because of the same...
That's what their expectation would be from India. India was not a military power in early 1950s when the Korean crisis came. The world trusted India. The world trusted Nehru. We played a major role. We took a position, a moral position on the Vietnam War. History is replete with instances where India has played a significant role. We have to think again in terms of what we were doing as a leader of the non-aligned group. That is still there, and it's a vast majority of the countries of the world. Finally, they are not only the stakeholders, but these nations will determine the future of what the world order will be, as we see a collapsing world order. Do we uphold multilateralism, or shall we just accept a new kind of imperialism? No, we can ill afford it. We fought for our freedom. We fought against imperialism. We fought against colonialism. We cannot have another imperialism in the world.
Talking about the government, how do you look at that, how our government has been, the diplomacy, you lauded the diplomacy. How do you look at the positioning done by our diplomacy and the efforts made by our diplomats, their region? You told us about the South Goa experience. Because of your experience, you talked about, you hailed our diplomats posted there.
So we have to support them. They are holding the tricolour aloft, they are representing the country, they are working for our people.
And talking about India's response, well, India is friends with both the countries.
Both the regions.
Both the regions, in fact.
With Iran also, and its allies.
Yes.
Iran also has some allies, but we also are very good friends and special relations with the countries of the Gulf.
How India is balancing? Do you back?
I think we are balancing it correctly. There is no other way. We can't lean, we can't tilt. And that's what is called skillful diplomacy. That everybody is okay with you, and we have to keep this chugging so that our people remains secure, the Indian diaspora. We do not know how long this war will last, but its after effects will take a long time. That's why I say that a national consensus and national unity is important.
Talking about the United Nations as well, although this time India is the chairperson of president of the BRICS grouping, but talking specifically about United Nations, if a global crisis management mechanism has failed, as you suggested, is it a time for India to push for complete overhaul for the UN Security Council, or is there any secondary concern compared to the immediate?
You see, we have to understand the Anglo-Saxon world, which anchored the post-Second World War system, the United Nations and the multilateral order, is now dismantling it. But the countries of the South, the countries of Asia, Africa, Latin America, which gained independence after the Second World War, and a majority of the membership of the United Nations, must save the multilateral system. United Nations has been defanged completely and bypassed by the arbitrary actions, attacks on countries. The principle of national sovereignty has been thrown in the garbage bin. Now we have to retrieve this situation. The crisis before the world is the lack of a moral leadership. You don't have a Gandhi or a Mandela today. But the leaders of today have a responsibility, because all of us will be judged by history, those in government or those in opposition.
Going further with this conflict, sir, what would advice going forward for the government as well, like how to navigate this situation? What would be your piece of wisdom?
You see, I can't be prescriptive because those in the government are better informed of what the exchanges or conversations are taking place among the leaders. Those are matters of state. And the government is better positioned, therefore, to take certain calls. I'm sure that New Delhi is in touch with major world capitals, be it Moscow or London or Berlin or Washington and elsewhere, or even Beijing. We must continue that.
So what do you have to say about those critics about the comments on your line, what you stand for on this issue? Deviating from the party line, they are your critics.
What is the party line? I fail to understand who is talking of a party line. I am a congressman. I have been heading the foreign affairs for a long time. I have been a minister. I am a member of the working committee. Should we not be collectively determining the party line? The Congress Working Committee should meet, deliberate, and have a line. But a line Congress historically has always stood up for the country. Whether we are in government or not, India, its interest and the interest of the Indian diaspora.
With this crisis, we are import-dependent nation, energy-wise. Do you believe going ahead in future, we should also make our alternate arrangements to fulfill and cater to our citizens? What would be your advice?
I think we have never put our eggs in one basket ever. This is the region because of its proximity and the fact that when you look at the LPG and the PNG, most of that comes from this region. At the same time, we have been, over the decades, diversifying our import basket. So we have been buying, there's cargoes which are bought on the sea. So it's how trading is done for energy. We have been importing from, besides Gulf and Iran, Iraq, but also from Russia, Latin America, Venezuela, and elsewhere, Nigeria. So that diversification must continue, and a judicious mix of energy within the country we must keep on developing.